Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Zane. This is episode 258 of Therapy Without a Degree. We have a special co-host today. We have Des. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Des. I'm so excited to be here with you all. And we also have our lovely guest,
Yosi Maldonado. Do I just introduce myself?
Introduce yourself. Yeah.
So I am Yosi Maldonado. I am a life and business coach for primarily female entrepreneurs, and also tomorrow is my 13-year anniversary for my wedding and event planning business. So
oh, sweet. Good stuff.
So,
I don't have like the soundboard like Joe does, but this
so yeah, tomorrow is a pretty big deal. It didn't hit me till earlier today. I was like, wow, I've been doing this for quite some time.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, it's a big accomplishment.
I also have 2 children that are pretty big. Well, older now. My daughter's 20. My son is 14. So between motherhood, entrepreneurship, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Yeah.
Nah, I definitely understand that. What do you get into this week? Any big projects?
Just coaching this week and coaching some of my current students, and I don't know. I'm debating on celebrating tomorrow or not.
Could you tell us a little bit of what coaching would be like?
Coaching
so you're
with
saying,
me?
yeah. So you have
like a day in life.
Clients. So
yeah.
What is that like for you?
So it depends. If they book me as a one-on-one coach, we would meet weekly for either 12 weeks consecutive or every other week for 6 months. And then if you do group coaching, you have a group with you, and we all kind of like co-coach each other. They don't even notice it, but it's such a great community to be in, because when you're surrounded by people that are either going through something similar, you kind of like piggyback off each other. But I just like to set fire in their ass to motivate them to hey, this isn't it. There's so much more for you. And a lot of people suffer with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And the mindset shifting, and just that roadblock. You hit a roadblock at some point when you're in business for so long, and also when you're new and there's so many people doing the same shit, and you're like, what do I do? How do I stand out? So I help them figure out how to stand out, how to be them, and not worry about fuck everybody else. This is you, this is your show, so run it how you want.
And what kind of roadblocks did you go through personally? Like that, because your story, I'm sure you share with your clients.
So with me, I started business, like I said, 13 years ago, and there was none of the shit that we have now.
Right.
Coaching wasn't a thing. Mentorship wasn't a thing. I just kind of started Googling things, figuring shit out on my own. I didn't have someone that I could look up to, that I could go to with all my problems. So I kind of just always had I got to figure shit out mentality.
Right. Yep.
And unfortunately for a while, I became robotic. I just would burn out all the time. I got to get this done. Aside from
on auto mode.
I was on autopilot all the time. It was okay, I knew I had to wake up, get the kids ready, go to work, because I also had a job for a while. So it was go to work, and then when I was even younger, right after, I had my daughter's senior year in high school, so I went right to college that September after. So it was work, school at night, baby for 5 years, and then a year later I had my son around, she was just turned 7. Then it was 2 kids, work, school, and then I finally got laid off for the 3rd time, because I was in the mortgage industry when everything crashed.
Right.
And I went full-time entrepreneur, and everybody's you're fucking crazy. And I was well, I keep getting laid off, so what am I doing here, right? So I just went full-blown on figuring out how to become a wedding and event planner, a mom, and have a life. But I really didn't for a while. I didn't really have a social life. I just didn't know how to enjoy life. I got to a point where I was I don't like what I'm doing anymore. I'm miserable. I didn't have a partner for a while. I was just alone. But I was, dating, entertaining, but I never took anyone serious for a while. And then I just figured out how to make money, because that was the thing for a while. Like, you don't got no money, you ain't nobody, right?
Right.
Like, that was the thing. Now it's like, honestly, my mental health comes first.
Right.
So the shift happened during COVID, because as a wedding and event professional, everything got shut down.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know how you.
No, I wasn't doing shit. Like,
Right.
I was home, like, that was the first time I was like, oh, there's shows. Let me watch Game of Thrones. I literally watched all of, like, for the first time I was watching shit that people were like, you watched that? I'm like, I had nothing else to do.
I do
So
now.
there was
Yeah, like, I'm like, I love TV. This is so much fun. This is what people do.
Right.
Like, I didn't know how to do it.
So you were like
people do.
self-reflecting most of the time?
A lot, and then also just, I was falling into like a depression, because I'm like, I didn't know how to be a normal human being.
Right.
Like, sit home.
Yes.
I'm like, people do this for this long. Like, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, I started working out because I was just like, there was nothing to do. So we were like, yo, you got like jacked during COVID. I was like, yeah, because I literally, I would do photography and film. Nothing was going
Who are
on.
you shooting? You can't even go outside.
I can't even go outside. I was doing that webcam thing where they have their webcam. You just take pictures at a distance. That's what I was doing. And I was just collecting unemployment the entire time.
Honestly, like it's
crazy-
really insane that like people had to find ways to cope with the isolation that COVID brought.
Right.
I was
We are
getting
not
sick.
used
I
to
was like
that.
literally gonna either get mentally, like, I didn't want to fall into like a severe depression, but I was like, I need to figure something out. So what I did during that time, because I always figure something out, I took that, time off a little bit, and then I was like, nah, I can't do this because I'm not a homebody.
Right.
So I learned how to make like hoodies. So I have an Etsy line for like
Okay.
entrepreneurs.
Just throw that
Right,
in there.
plug it in.
Cop the merch. So I started hoodies. Like, I love hoodies. And then I started like, little things here and there mostly for women. And because that's who I relate with, and that's who I attract more, is like female entrepreneurs, and then the mompreneurs, and then the mom hustle. And I went and I did like a mother hustler shirt for Mother's Day. Yo, that shit was
Sold
like
out.
the top seller.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, because I was like, this is easy,
Right.
And it was like 5 seconds, pressing, which is slowed down when I picked up again, when life got back to normal. But what I did was, which I always tell people, if you didn't figure something out during COVID, what the hell were you doing with your time? I also took all the money that I saved, because believe it or not, I saved money during the year because I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
And I opened up my studio in like August, and everyone's like, are you fucking crazy? Like, you're literally opening up a studio right now. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, like, why not?
And what was in the studio? Was it like the merch, or is
No, it was actually, the funny thing is, I was looking for a warehouse,
Okay.
like, to store my stuff, my inventory, because I do have inventory that I'm actually slowly getting rid of, because I used to be like a one-stop shop type of event planner where I wanted to just have everything. So I was like, let me get this space and I'll store my stuff here. Lo and behold, I ended up converting it into like an intimate event space.
Okay.
So I would host like workshops, intimate brunch, photography studio, videography, and it just became that for the last 2.5 years, which I'm actually closing it soon. So that's another.
No, that's beautiful.
I'm closing it more because, one, it's not doing what it was doing before. And the truth is, I was making bank because, remember when COVID, the world started slowly opening?
Yeah.
It was intimate this, intimate that, 10 to 15 people. So I was like perfect.
Right.
And then now I don't fit enough people anymore.
For what the demand is, for
Hey.
what they
So
want.
Now I've turned down this year alone maybe like 12 events because I don't have the space. And I was like, wait, I need something else, or I need to just, this isn't for me, because it's not serving me anymore. And now it's just more of a headache.
Right.
And I'm like, all right. And it does hurt. Like, I even cried today. I was there and I'm like, this sucks. But I'm like, everyone's reminding me like, it's okay.
Right.
And, because I'm hard on myself, and I tell my students all the time, and they're like, my students be getting at me like, but didn't you say? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
He's like, listen.
It doesn't
Let
apply.
me have my moment.
I know what I'm saying.
Right.
Let me cry. The thing is, like, I have to own up to that. Like, I did my thing there for so long. The reason I got emotional is because I went to the Instagram page today, and I was like, damn, I've done a lot of shit here.
Right.
But I'm like, to close these doors is like, it's kind of sad.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah, like, I have to tell myself, like, at least I did that. And
Right.
I can say it happened. But now I'm like, now I know what to do better
For the next time.
because I know I'm not done.
Right.
I know for sure I'm not done. I'm destined to have a location, but it needs to be bigger and better. So I need to be mentally prepared for that.
Okay. That's really great, because I was just thinking, it was a lot. So
sorry.
No,
that's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
Like, I think that for me, at least, as a woman who works a 9 to 5, my whole perspective is like fear-based. And I think that that's a cultural thing, especially like for women of color. We end up very much so driving our purpose and passion based on fear.
Yeah.
And so it's beautiful that you said, no, hold on. Like, there's something I like. When I can notice that it's no longer serving me, I'm going to remove myself from it and see something better, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is, for a while, and don't get me wrong, I still have some doubts. Like, I'm like, should I really close it, you know? But then I'm like, I've noticed, like, when I keep saying no to people, I'm like, this isn't working. I have to keep saying no. Then that means, where are all the yeses? Like, I'm blocking all these yeses, right? So I have to remind myself, and it's still hard. I could coach people all day, but if you're not getting coached as well,
right, that's
a problem. Because it's like getting therapy and not getting therapy.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah,
like,
you know, without a degree.
Yeah. You know, shameless plug. But I always tell people, like, coaches need coaches, therapists need therapists, doctors 100%. Need doctors. Like, everyone needs someone.
Right.
We can't do this alone anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and that was how I was for so long, because I didn't have what we have now. I didn't have the resources I have now. I didn't have the community around me. A lot of my family are all entrepreneurs.
Right.
If not almost, yeah, my sister, my cousin, other cousins, and almost every friend of mine is an entrepreneur, because I feel like we're not normal in the brain. And right. That's fucking facts. I'm sorry, but some of the things I say, they're like,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Because people be like, yo, you're crazy. And I'm like, so? And I don't think we're crazy. I think we're so creative that some people don't understand that creativity. And they're right. Like, how are you just going to figure this out? And I'm like, well, why not? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's what I tell my students. Listen, what's the worst that can happen? It didn't work out. So
you try
something else.
Right.
You know? And I always compare coaching to like fitness training.
Right.
I'm coaching you. I'm not going to do the work for you.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to give you all the tools that you need. I'm going to recommend things that I've done and share my story with you, because I don't want you to go through the same hassles. I don't want you to go through the same headaches. Now, if you're not putting in the work, you're not going to see the results.
Absolutely. You know, you got to be in the gym, even if you have to be there for an hour and do nothing, but it's just the action of
the step of getting there.
Right.
Getting in the car and saying, I'm going to go to the gym is huge. And once you get there, and I always say, yo, if you hit those 3 weeks, you're golden.
That's it.
Those 3 weeks are like the first day is like hell, but the first 3 weeks are like, yo, I did 3 weeks straight. I got this. Because I always revert back to that, because I have always struggled with the back and forth in the gym.
Right.
Because I have a love-hate. Like, come on.
I mean, who doesn't? Like
I mean,
there's
people
that again.
Like, damn, I'm still
again.
I still have a 6-pack. What happened?
Right.
Well, it's probably because of the shit I ate last night.
Right.
But that's the thing. Like,
unapologetically.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not perfect, but you know. No, I always go to that idea, because I'm like, you know, everybody wants to be healthy and this and that, but they're not making the changes, right? It's not just physical appearance anymore.
Right.
It's your mindset. It's the way you think. That helps with imposter syndrome. That helps with just how you feel in general, and just how you move in life. So, and also just the people around you.
Right. How do you kind of combat the imposter syndrome, like voices in your head, when you kind of go about, like, maybe somebody is like super difficult and you're like, damn, how can I help them? But it's like my job to help them. Like, how do you?
You mean, how do I help them, or how do I help myself?
How do you help yourself help them when you?
Yeah.
Damn. So the truth is, like, I don't have the answer for everything.
Right.
You know. So, and I'm honest with people. Sometimes I'm like, this is bigger than me.
Right.
Because sometimes people will come to me with a situation where I'm like, this is actually not coaching. You need therapy. Like 100%. Yes, I've told people, like, this sounds like a personal thing that I cannot and I don't want to help you with. But when it comes to imposter syndrome, like, oh, business related, and sometimes life, because if your life is in shambles, so will your business be. And I feel like if your head is not screwed on right, if there's something going on personally, you're going to fuck up at work.
There are so many times where whatever's happening internally will spill out into every other part of your life. And it's like, until you sit back and actually reflect on patterns, decisions, habits. Like, you can't shift your mindset. No. Like, you have to be very intentional about doing the work consistently.
Yeah. And the thing is, for me to help others, well, first, if I don't help myself, I can't help others. So there's times in the past in my group coaching programs, I've rescheduled them if I'm not feeling well mentally, because I can't help you if I'm not having a good day. If I'm not going through something.
There's a limited mindset there.
I cannot sit there and coach you on something when I'm struggling with something that's overpowering my mental state. So I'm honest with them from the beginning.
Okay.
Hey, these dates may change. I'm human. I have a personal life. If my son has a game, if I need to be somewhere, I will reschedule you. But you will get all of your sessions.
So, question for you. How do you make sure that you are giving yourself grace, but not making excuses for yourself?
Oh my God, grace. The craziest shit, because I, for a while, didn't know how to give myself grace. I didn't know how to give myself my own flowers. I didn't know how to big up myself. Like,
right.
You know, like, I'm more like, no, everything's fine. I'm going to be humble.
You felt like you're too modest?
Yeah. No, people would be like, yo, talk your shit. Like, you know what you're talking about. My coach now, she is actually in Australia. She's fucking awesome. And her page is the Queen of Confidence. So I literally booked her via one thing I saw her speak on. I said, I need her to coach me, because I was struggling with my confidence. And I was like, if I'm not confident, how am I going to show other people to be confident?
Right.
How am I going to show them, nah, you got what it takes. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter what you see on Instagram. The problem with this world right now is social media. Like, we're on a fucking rat race.
Yeah.
In a competition with who? Like, who gives a fuck what these people are doing? And the thing with me, and I say this now, is because I literally caught myself when I first started coaching. I caught myself comparing my coaching to coaches that have been coaching for years. And I'm like, why the fuck am I looking at this lady's page?
Right.
She's been coaching for 10 years.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Why am I not as perfect as her?
How come I don't have all these clients? And I'm like, well, I just fucking started.
Because I ain't put in the work.
Let me wake the fuck up. I just got here.
Yeah.
Right.
So and I always tell people, like, let's calm down here. Like, who are we in competition with? Who are we in a race with? You should only be in a race with yourself.
Correct.
So I had to step back and say, wait a minute. I literally, and I learned this word the other day, I did a dirty launch, which is called, I launched my program on a fucking whim. And I was like, hey, I'm a coach now. Sign up with me. Yada, yada, yada. No fucking website, nothing. I didn't even care.
It's called a dirty launch?
Yeah.
I've never heard that term.
I've been dirty launching my whole life.
That's a dirty launch.
I was like, shout out to Sarah, because Sarah said that Sarah is she's a marketer.
Oh my God.
She said that to me, and I said,
sounds like a marketer.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
launch.
that is
I
hilarious.
actually love to dirty launch.
Right.
I love dirty
launching.
I don't give a fuck. I'll be like, hey, we're doing this tomorrow. Who's coming? Sign up now. I do it all the time now.
That gives me an idea.
I didn't know that was the name. And I was like, that's a thing? Because I've been doing this for like 13 years.
Like, I've been doing this, but okay.
So I'm guessing a clean launch is something you announce.
When you're organized.
When you're organized.
Your site is up. You know, your links are ready. Fucking link in bio. I was like, DM me. Got you, bitch.
Let's go.
What you need? I got
Greatest marketing ever.
Yeah. But I was like, I've been doing that for quite some time. So I don't know if that was a real name, but when she said it, I was like, wait, I always do that. Is that legal or something? She's like, no, it just means like you really just did it. You wung it. And I was like, shit, I've been winging shit my whole life. And you know, you throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. That's what I've been doing for quite some time. And a lot of it has stuck. But the thing is, I honestly forgot what the fuck we were talking about.
I actually almost forgot to. Grace. Yes, Grace.
Giving yourselves grace. But because the thing is that, like, even with what we're talking about right now, like, when you consider the fact that, like, in order for you to help yourself, in order for you to help others, in order for you to allocate space for your kids, for your entrepreneurship, for yourself as a woman, like, you have to break down all of these processes and really sit there and be like, okay, so what is best for me in this state? What is best for me in the future? And how can I best execute? While not giving, like, not bullshitting yourself about the work you're doing, but also, like, recognizing I'm not a robot, so I gotta chill.
That's where the grace came in for me. Because I was like, wait, I'm burning the fuck out.
Right.
That's where the burnout began.
Yeah, like I was like, I started hating event planning. And I was like, I don't want to do this.
It wasn't
anymore.
fun.
It wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah. That's why you gotta take a break.
That's when I was like, oh, these fucking clients are driving me crazy. When I used to literally would get an inquiry and I'd be like, yes, oh my God, so like excited to write. Now I'm like, I gotta write a fucking inquiry. Because I'm like, am I growing? Is this a growth thing? Because I didn't know what was happening. And then like, it's okay. You've done this for so long. You're spent. You're burnt out. I didn't have the guidance. I didn't have the coaching, like the coach that I needed to tell me like, it's okay to take a step back and reevaluate what you want to do in your life and where you're going with your life. Because for so long, I felt like I needed to stick to one plan.
Right.
You know, because I'm like, I don't want to fuck up. This has to be good. Everyone told me I was going to fuck up. Everyone told me I was crazy. Let me not prove them wrong. You know, let me not prove them right. I wanted to just keep going. And then I'm like, and even now, people, my family's like, what are you doing now? They're like, what is this coaching thing? Like, it's so new to people. Like, and I launched a podcast last December. That was another thing. They're like, podcast? What? Oh, that shameless plug.
Just gotta keep doing it, right?
Listen,
just plug it tonight.
You know? No, I mean, listen, that's the thing. I would never in my past life talk about all the shit that I do.
So it would just be like you're just doing, and then when people had to remind you, like, hey, you should probably tell them about blank, 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 blank.
People would be like, hey, talk about your line, your merch. Talk about, and I'm like, no, it's okay. Because I would be like, no, it's fine.
It's not important.
It's not that serious. No, for a while. And
you downplayed it. Okay.
Yeah, I would downplay all of my like achievements, and everyone's like, no. Oh, now I remember where we were at. The coach that I hired, Erica Kramer, she's amazing. For anybody that needs a confidence coach, I'm not a confidence coach, but I can be. But she honestly said something to me one day, and it was a group coaching, and she said to me, I checked your page. I know what you've done. And she's like, I need you to fucking flex. And I was like, what? No.
Flex how? What?
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? She's like, how are people going to come to you and hire you to coach them if they don't know all the shit you've done? How are they going to know that you know what you're talking about? Why should I hire you if I don't know who are you?
Right.
Show me what you've done. Show me why you got what it takes for me to work with you. And I was like, oh, shit. Because I've never flexed. I've never put myself out there. So, like, you're like, shameless plug. But I'm like, it's true, though. I've done so much. And I'm like, I can do this. I can do that. But if I don't tell you what I can do or what I've done, you're not going to know unless I actually finally speak about myself.
Right.
You know? I didn't go to school for business for no reason. I went to college. I graduated. I did all that. Now, that's why sometimes in the back of my head, I always tell myself, I knew I needed to do something with business.
Right.
I just didn't know what. Event planning and design came to me on a creative side. But I know I was destined to help other people like figure their own shit out. Because I did it for years on the low without getting paid. I was just doing it. Like people would go, oh, can you help me with this? I'm like, yeah, what's up? And I'd fucking help them with their whole business plan. Figure out their whole fucking business for them. And then my coach during COVID was like, so you've been coaching people for years. You just don't own up to it. And I was like, I'm not a coach, though. I kept saying that for like 7 sessions. She was like, you're a fucking coach. Like, I don't know how long. Like, when are you going to own up to it? And I was like, I'm not a coach. I've mentored people. She's like, what the fuck is the difference?
Did you feel like you needed to go to school or get certified?
No, I just
to be
felt
a coach?
like I was having imposter syndrome.
Right.
Right. I didn't even know that what the hell that meant. I didn't know that I needed to shift my mindset. I didn't know that I was suffering imposter syndrome for so long. I still have it right now sometimes. There's days that I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. And then everyone's like, bitch, if anyone can,
it is going to be you.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I guess. But, you know, I get yelled at every now and then still. Like, you're the humble shit. And I'm like, I am humble. I am. But I get it. Like, Like, I see people sometimes, you know, talk about all of their, like, achievements. And I'm like, damn, that's so easy. Why is it so hard sometimes to just say what you've done? It's not like you're lying.
Right.
You know, who do you have to prove these things to? Like, it is what it is, but you have to be confident in yourself and what you've done and where you're going. And that's the truth with that. And so I think I answered you about grace, but for me, I learned to just tell myself, if something doesn't work out, it's okay. Let's move on. I was so hard on myself for so long. It goes back to like teenage parenting and like that life was crazy for me.
I can imagine.
So now the hardest job in the world is that motherhood is like, whoa, it's never ending. There's no one that can teach you right from wrong.
Right.
But, and I'm that's something that I still don't give myself grace with.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be forever.
I'm sure.
It's literally,
I don't have
feel
kids,
like every
but I'm
mom
sure.
goes through
Yeah.
it. You know, even parents. It could be fathers and everything. Some fathers I know are hard on themselves, and they could be amazing dads.
Right.
But if you don't hear that, if you don't hear people tell you like, "Yo, you did your thing," or you did the best of what you could, like what you had, and that's that's me.
And
like,
that life happens.
and life
like
happens.
you can't prepare for that.
So like I've been slowly learning to give myself my flowers. Like, kudos to me, I did that, or congratulations. I've got to talk to myself sometimes. Shit, sometimes I do hear it from others, but I'm like, you gotta look in the mirror sometimes and do your positive affirmations to yourself, because if you're not right within, nothing else matters.
Right. And do you feel that sometimes people's behaviors like kind of influences like who you are, like in terms of your progress and how fast you're going? Like somebody could be like, maybe y'all start at the same time, like 2 years, and then all of a sudden they just pop and it's like, yo, I was doing the same thing. Should that in fact influence your journey essentially?
When you say your, do you mean me?
Yes.
So I can relate with that, because when I was doing full-time event planning about right before COVID, like 2 years before COVID, I used to teach workshops for event planners.
Oh,
and that's why my coach said, but you've been coaching people.
Right.
But I didn't think of it like that. I was just like, I was just hosting a workshop. But most of those students would always come back to me.
Okay.
And some of them blew up bigger than me now.
And you the one that taught the class.
Yeah. So
Which
and I
means
see
there's something working.
Yeah, so something stuck, and I was like, I could have easily like been upset, but I was like, no, they took my class. They don't have to thank me, but I know that I had a part in their growth, and that makes me feel better. So
Absolutely.
And I always tell my students like now, like, hey, listen, you know how many coaches there are now? You know how many event planners there are? You know how many photographers there are? You know how many everything there is now? Because a lot of people during COVID started a business. They found something they enjoy. A lot of trainers now. A lot of people started, like you said, fitness, that.
Yeah.
A lot of people started baking. Like in my industry, blew up during like even though we weren't working, people were working behind the scenes. So when life opened up again and events started again, I started seeing all these new event planners. I'm like, what the hell happened here? But they were like all hiding and working on the low, and then it's like, hey, we're here, we're taking over, and I could have easily been like, oh my god, life is over,
because it was too oversaturated.
It is. Event planning is a very oversaturated industry, and it's very catty. Women are fucking ruthless.
You talking about with the clients or with like the venue?
No, each other.
Oh, just
yeah.
Oh wow.
So and I would always hear oh my god, why are you teaching people they can steal your clients? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If my client likes their work more, then go.
Right.
I'm trying to make money in other places. I don't need to just event plan. I don't need to decorate. I don't need to just do that for the rest of my life. That shit is fucking hard work. I don't care what anybody says. It's so stressful. I think I had heard like 2 years ago in the news, like it was one of the top 10 most stressful industries to work in. That's crazy.
Event planning.
Is that top 10 trusted?
Most stressful.
Oh, most stressful?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez. I
believe that.
Is photography up there too?
I don't know if you guys just call into like events, but like, some of the fucking clients are
wedding photographers
crazy.
And the logistics, like the logistics, the thing is, details.
I don't just plan. I design and I coordinate. So when I coordinate, it's like, oh my god, like, and I've coordinated a birthday party. Like when people got it, they got it. They want to pay for. They don't want to do anything, and I'm all for it. Whatever you want, I'll do whatever you want. I can't do a backflip though, but or a cartwheel.
Let me ask you. You have been on this entrepreneurship journey for what seems like many years now.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, to somebody who's been in a 9-to-5 and is just like, I'm tired of blue pill, I'm trying to jump into red pill. Like, what would be some tips that you would give them? Like, hey, listen, be warned, expect this.
So I have students now that are still full-time employees, part-time, and they're like, I want to quit. I'm like, no. I tell them, no, I will never tell you to quit your job until you're 100% ready.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't want
Why?
to. Because one, I'm not taking the blame for if something
for your poverty. You a broke bitch on your own,
That
not
is
because
not
of
my
me.
problem.
She said quit my job.
My
and I
coach
did.
said to quit. Fuck this place. I'll be like, no. I actually said to calm the fuck down. No, I always tell them, just make sure if you are going to start the business, make sure you're at least making what you were making in your job.
That
and
is
a
good
huge
advice.
thing now is fucking health benefits.
Right.
Like if you don't have insurance, that's fucking scary nowadays. So I've never told any of them, yeah, I think you should quit. No. Because I did it for a while. And the only reason I turned full-time entrepreneur is because I kept getting laid off because of the mortgage industry. Not because I was doing bad at my job. It was, they couldn't keep paying me. And I was like, all right, fuck this. Like, I was like, where am I going to go now? Like, I've been doing this for 3 years and I kept getting laid off. And that's why I just wung it. I was like, I'm going to just figure this out. But that doesn't work for everybody. And I really 100% would never tell somebody, yeah, you know what? I think you should just quit. But I also tell them, evaluate your workspace. If your full-time job is literally burning you out and you're miserable and you hate this place and your business is doing well and you know that you can take it to the next level, but this job is kind of like stopping you, but then yes,
peace out.
Then that's a risk you want to take.
That's true.
Yeah.
That happened to me exactly, actually.
Yeah,
like
that's a risk that you want to take.
It was interfering.
Yeah, so and the thing is, but you have to know that you're going to give this 150 to 200%.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, there's no sleeping.
The moment you sleep, that's when business closed. The moment your eyes up.
Yeah, and sometimes there is no sleeping because in the beginning, it's like, I don't know what to do. You know, I have friends that, and then not only friends, but I do have some of the students in last year that decided to go full time after. Like, they were like, you know what? And they're doing well. You know, they're not where they were with their job, but honestly, job security of the payroll and all that is something different. Depending on what industry you go into, as far as business, you're not going to guarantee the same income every week.
Right.
You don't know.
That's
a risk that you have to be willing to take that risk. I've had weeks where I'm like, okay, so like, is anyone going to hire me? I'm like, should I put out
getting clients?
Yeah, in the past, like when I first started, I was like, okay, this is crazy. Maybe I am crazy.
And how'd you hook them in? Like, how'd you get your
I just went full in. Like, Instagram was one of my top like selling platforms.
Okay.
So like, I didn't have a website for a while in my event industry, on my event page. I just was booking people through Instagram, and honestly, like, I want to say 75% of my clients are word of mouth.
Hey.
Yeah, I like almost all of like.
And for events, that's pretty much golden.
Yeah, the thing, like, if you do a good job,
right,
and someone's there, and they're like, oh, if it's just a decor, or even if I'm just coordinating, and they're like, who is that?
Up?
Yeah, like, who's that? And the thing is, people like, they'll see me throughout the whole night, and somebody will. I almost every event will stop me.
Right.
Oh, did you do this? Oh my God, great job. I'm like, oh, thank you. But that right there is huge for me. A referral is huge for me. Like, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. That means you really, even if you don't leave me a Google review or whatever, the fact that you referred me, that means you really appreciated my work and you enjoyed it and you enjoyed working with me. So the fact that you referred me to somebody, either a family or friend, that means a lot. Because to me, you wouldn't refer somebody if you don't want to fuck with them no more.
Absolutely.
Like, at all.
And like my cousin said, people will pay you when if they like you. If they don't like you, they're not going to pay you. Absolutely. And it's as simple as that.
And that's true. That's true. And honestly, the crazy part is, like, a lot of people get hired because of their vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They can
have mediocre work. If I don't rock with you from the beginning.
Yeah. When I do my consultations, I kind of know. I kind of know because it's an interview.
Right.
It's an interview for me. Like, I'm like, do I want to work with this lady?
Am I a good fit for them?
You know, is this client going to drive me crazy? Or like, am I, like, are we working together? And also the same thing with when I do my consultations for coaching, like, I'll talk to them and I'm like, you know what? This is not what I can help you with. Because I'm so honest with people when it comes to that. Because I'm not here just to take people's money.
Right.
And that's one thing that people get into business just for the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's fine if that's your motive, but I'm going to tell you that much. If that's all you're looking for, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Right. I mean, money's going to come. You just got to focus on helping others.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, I'm opening a business because I'm going to make so much money. Okay.
You're going to sit there by yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, that's not the way things work. But at the same time, like, I've never been the one that opens up a business or a new project or something because I'm solely focused on the money. It's like I get this genuine heartfelt feeling when my students now reach out, like, look what I did. Oh my God, I finally did XYZ, and I see their pages and their Instagram like growing, and I'm like, oh my God, they're freaking doing the work that we spoke about. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing that makes me just feel great. So
that's phenomenal.
I enjoy that more.
Yeah, I think that like when you decide to jump into something and you know that the benefit is more than just the self, like you end up cultivating a community. You end up meeting amazing people who have mindsets that are similar to yours, because if you want to be coached, that means you have a recognition that there's something that you want someone to help you with.
Yeah.
And so many people end up just kind of living in like this robotic state of like, okay, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna do what I have to do, my life is trash, life sucks, here I am, and it's just like, you have such a capacity to change your narrative. And I think like you're walking evidence of that, where it's like, no, this doesn't fit me, so I'm gonna go full throttle until something fits.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
I feel like making changes is okay. I feel like starting a new chapter is okay. It's the same thing this is with friendships, relationships, everything. Like if it just doesn't work for you anymore and it's costing you your peace, like that's way too much now. And I feel like a lot of us hold on to people, even just friendships, relationships, because of the comfort, because they're scared to start over, because the what if. All right, what if? Like, what if it works out?
Right.
Like, how about we think
better than you can imagine?
What if it does work out? What if this breakup was fucking what made you blossom into the fucking get out of your cocoon? You know what I mean? Like, there's things that hold us back, and we don't see that until something tragic happens. And why wait for some fucking tragic thing to happen for you to be like, damn?
Or like a trauma bond. Yeah. Like you sit there and you let someone just hammer away at you.
Yeah. Or like you're their punching bag.
Right.
And I'm like, I'll take it. I got it. I'm so strong.
I'm so strong.
Meanwhile, you're fucking deteriorating inside.
Yeah. Check on your strong friends sometimes.
Oh, I say this all the time now. When I ask my friends, are you okay? It's not surface level. Right. I'm really like, yo, are you good?
Right.
Because
people just
I know some of us, and I know myself, for a while, I would be like, I'm good. Everything's fine. Now I'm like, nah, bitch, yo. You know what the fuck is going on? Bitch, I'm stressed. Fucking stressed, yo. Now I don't care. Like, I'm like, do you really want to know? Because I'm about to tell you.
She's about to let the clip out.
Yeah, like, are you
got 20 minutes. Like, we got to talk.
Is this like a surface level okay? Right. Like a question? Because I'm like, how much time we got?
Right.
Now I'm like, no. I don't want to be the strong friend anymore. I'm fucking exhausted.
Yep.
I hear that.
I don't. I'm fucking tired.
I'm tired of everybody else's problems. Can somebody fucking figure mine out?
Right. Help me.
Like,
help me.
Help me.
I need help.
Like,
please.
Joe, if you can insert the Kevin Hart meme.
I was about to say, Kevin Hart, help me.
Help me. No.
I didn't want to say it.
It was like, that was me. I took it. Safety.
I'm like, he got it.
Joe's like, copy.
I was waiting. Like, y'all ain't gonna say it? All right, I'm gonna say it. Welcome to the Comedy Hour. Therapy out of the degree.
Oh, man. I'm like, he's looking at you.
Joe's looking at me. Joe's looking at me. Everybody. Princess is looking at me. Definitely Princess.
I'm like, wait, Princess? Where is she?
No, but all jokes aside. But did you feel like going through like just tackling obstacles, did that ever have like an effect on like kind of figuring out like new strategies? Like, did you ever have like that block where you just how am I gonna get out of this? Like, what did you do? Did you have to go somewhere, go on vacation, you go through therapy?
Yeah, actually, I went on my first retreat last June. I went to Tulum.
Tulum.
I was talking.
I'm saying, yo,
I'm
y'all got money.
Right.
She got money.
She got money. No,
I'm actually broke.
Plot twist.
No, so I went on my first retreat, and I actually went with no one that I knew, and I was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to figure this out. Because I needed something that, one, was going to make me uncomfortable, which was traveling with people that I don't know. Two, be literally surrounded with other women that are trying to figure shit out. And not have to worry about everybody else. Because my life has always been worrying about everybody else. And so I went to my first retreat. It's the company that I go with, because I've gone twice, is Elixir Media. They're a marketing company, but they do restoration and marketing retreats.
Okay.
So there's a lot of restoration involved, meaning relax.
Also, you're like
chill the fuck out.
Chill out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like you have a lot of relaxed time. And in that time you get to journal, meditate, do whatever you want, work out, chill. I literally sat by the pool and tanned, and the girls were like, yo, you're dead ass just gonna stay here all day. I'm like, yeah, I'm white
Aren't
as fuck.
you?
I
Like,
need
what are
a
you
tan.
gonna do? Right.
And they were all very nice and fucking chocolate fucking skin. So I'm like, don't fucking come over here with your fucking. They were like, we're getting out of the sun. I'm like, fuck you.
He's like,
I need
I'm
a few
not
more
ready.
hours.
I'm not ready.
I need a few more hours to
That was
bake,
a joke the whole
please.
time. They're like, every day I had like a smaller bathing suit on. They're like, damn, you're really going in. I'm like, you know what?
I'm trying to
Mind
even
your
out.
fucking business.
Right.
I'm
It's
just
been a
here-
cold winter.
And
We
they're
need
like,
some
we're
color.
not going in the sun with you. I'm like, damn, man, I got nobody to hang out with. But it's what I needed. I needed to be alone.
Right.
I needed to just sit there, and my mental clarity for me is like outside, outdoors, beach, summer. Like I'm a winter baby and I fucking hate it, but I love being outside. So when they were like, you could do whatever you want, I was like, oh, like I don't have to journal. They were like, nope, this is literally your time to reflect. So if you want to write, I did journal, but like a lot of people had their computers out, and I'm like, I brought my stuff. I didn't open my computer once.
Good.
I needed, like, I was like, I'm not fucking opening this. I hardly was on my phone. And then there was so much time to reflect, and there was group coaching in the morning that I needed. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, it was so relaxing. And that was the first kind of like breakthrough I had, because it was also like, she's a pelvic floor sex therapist.
Ooh.
She was there as a guest. Like as a
As like one of the
pelvic
speakers. Or
floor
something?
she
has
was
become
part of us.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But-
That's a big
But
topic right now.
Yes, I didn't know anything about it, but
Yeah.
she was talking about so many things that I was like, wow, I didn't know I needed to like, you know, when you're like at the right place at the right time, like I was like, whoa, I needed to be here, and I didn't even know like she was gonna be here, and we just clicked, and I was asking questions, and then she had like open conversations with us, and like she did a lot of practices for us as women, like things that we could help with, even with just cramps, like TMI, but you know,
No,
just things. I'm
'cause,
just kidding.
yo,
I really
the
don't
I
care.
was like,
Right.
interesting.
He's like, wow.
Tell me more about this pelvic floor. What
Girl,
is
the
this?
things I was like learning, I was like, yo, getting in tune with our bodies as women is
so
big.
Oh my
and
gosh.
like I learned so much just in like 5 days being there. And I was like grateful for taking the time to myself, being present, because I didn't know for a while how to do that. And that's when I learned like how to like stop myself before getting to the burnout.
I see what you're saying.
Like I needed that to like learn how to restore my time, because I didn't even know. Like I was like, what the fuck is restoration? Like what am I supposed to be doing here?
What am I
That was, like, just
restoring?
sleep.
Yeah, restoring your fucking mental
Yeah,
brain.
yeah.
Your clarity. Yeah, like I was like, I don't nap. Like what am I
Right. That's
supposed
what
to
I
do?
thought it was. Like, is it just sleep or napping?
No,
or whatnot?
no. There was so much, but I was like, wow, and there was so much good food. Like we had fucking chefs cooking 4 meals a day. Like I was like, I love it
Is
here.
it only for women?
Yeah, sorry.
Damn.
Sorry, Zane.
Damn, y'all got some
But you know
good
what that
stuff.
means?
What's that mean?
You could start a business doing it for
A
men.
men's one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
men's
could coach
retreat.
you on starting your business.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
She's like,
shameless
Another
a plug with a prospect.
Plug with a
extension.
prospect.
Plug with a prospect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
You see that?
And we ain't mad at it, okay?
I got you. We can figure that out tomorrow.
That's when you just drop the
Drop
clip,
the
the soundboard.
Yeah. Wait, what?
He said, when's your birthday?
Ooh,
January
what's your
26th.
sign?
I am an Aquarius.
Of course.
Air
signs,
creative.
Air signs.
Wait, that's the
I'm a
full.
Libra.
That's the full flesh.
What are you?
I'm the most infamous one.
What is infamous?
Oh, you know, You know who I am.
Wait.
I'm one of y'all.
You're a Gemini?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm a Libra.
Oh, wow.
All the air signs.
All the air signs. Imagine we just ascend.
Ascension.
I was like, I've never been with all three.
Oh my gosh, guys.
The room is getting hot.
I'm tickling. I'm just tickling.
Right? Like a beam of light.
Oh my god!
The Zodiac Rangers.
Oh my god! How are we gonna stand?
Right?
I gotta get a pose.
Right, we gotta get like a certain
She
stance.
was about to get up.
I gotta hold like two things, like different bottles of water.
Actually, my best friend is a Gemini and my brother's a Libra.
What?
Yo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So y'all must really have interesting
I have
conversations.
Amazing relationships with both of them.
Oh, that's
no,
awesome.
air signs are fire. I'm not even gonna hold you.
I have an amazing relationship with my brother, and I have an amazing relationship with my best friend.
Wow.
Liz, I love you. Jose, I love you.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Well, my brother's. No, I get the vibe. People, I'm a January Aquarius, so it's close, but I get that a lot.
You do get like Capricorn vibe, but not so much. The moment you say January, like Capricorn.
No, you know what I think it is that it's your assertion. I think
That
Aquariuses
leadership.
don't like, they are assertive, but they don't show it.
Yeah.
Like, but you're very like, nah, I'm gonna go get that bag.
Yeah. I
You
usually
know?
get the
I'm gonna figure it out.
RBF or I thought you were a bitch. I'm like, I am.
One of my close friends, she's an Aquarius, and she literally, like, she always says she's a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And I'm like, and I didn't believe her.
I don't like that, the master of none part, because, well, everybody's different. But
Right.
for me, like, I used to say that, oh, I wear all my hats. What hat am I wearing today? You know, but when I heard about that, I was like, I don't know if that's a negative or a positive.
It could be just like you. Everything is like at 20% opposed to 100%.
See, but that's what I did for so long. And then when I started, the coaching, I said, if I don't give 100% to anything,
Right.
nothing's going to get 100. Like, nothing's going to grow at 100%.
Interesting perspective.
And that's why I said when I don't tell people to quit their job, because I'm like, you can't expect to grow this business overnight because you just quit your job, unless you're a wealthy family and you have the back.
Yeah, you got some fluff.
The foundation.
You got something to fall back on, but like
Us, everybody else.
like taking that risk is, not for everybody.
Right.
So, but I do believe in jack of all trades.
It's just something that it's just like you figure it out, and that I understand now, like from your perspective, like how you went about things. You're just like, no, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
you got to get creative with it.
Yeah, and the thing is, actually, we had a conversation earlier today, at the studio, because I was like, wrapping things up over there, and I'm just like, they're like, and my friend said like, if anyone's gonna figure it out, it's you. He's like, you know how much shit you've been through, and you just fucking keep going. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I think that was a nice compliment.
Well, where do you think that comes from? Like that, because that's very common. Like, people will say, you do so much. Wow. And it's like, yeah, I do too much.
The thing is, for a while, I like took pride on that. Like, oh my God, I do so much. And then I was like, this shit is exhausting. Right. So I'm like, where does it come from is probably seeing my mom. She's an entrepreneur. She single mother, like, just 3 kids, just figuring it out always. I never understood how she did half the shit that she did for us. And seeing it, I'm like, that's probably where I get it from, because there was nobody else. Dad wasn't in the picture, so I just saw her always figuring it out for us.
Right.
There was still some vacations. There was still time. There was still we always had food in the house. We always had a home. Like, we were always good. But like, I'm like, damn, she was probably fucking struggling and suffering so
and
on
exhausted.
The low and exhausted, because I'm like, I know she was now, but she would never have told us. Hispanics, well, my family don't talk about shit.
Same.
You could be dying and nobody will know until you died. And
until
I'm
you
like,
already
you
died.
were sick? Like, what the fuck? You
Right.
didn't say nothing. But that's the thing. Like, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to live that life where it's like we just hold everything in until we fucking explode or literally have a heart attack and fucking die.
But do you feel like that's like creating like a overly sensitive culture too? Like, so
When you
being
say overly sensitive, what do you mean?
So being a teacher, a lot of the times we do like emotional, like we have to emotionally regulate our kids because they're kids.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed, at least over the last couple of years, is that especially after COVID, actually, like there's like a heightened anxiety. There's a heightened like fear or aggression. And it makes me wonder, like, is that a response to your environment, or are you more so like just learning who you are? You know, I feel like when we go through things, especially like people of color, we go through things and we just kind of eat it and we eat it and we eat it. And it's like, no, I'm going to self-medicate by getting so busy that I can't even think about things.
Well, that is a coping mechanism where it's like, nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, everything is going wrong.
Right.
But as long as I'm working, nothing is wrong. I got a job, right? I have money coming in. I'm good. My kids are fed. I'm good. But I did that for so long. And then I had to take a step back, and I was told for a while, like, are you even here?
Yeah.
And I would be like, what do you mean? Yeah. They're like, you're not present, though.
Right. Because you just feel like you're just doing
I'm
just
here.
to do.
Like, they would be like, you're here, but you're literally not even here. Like, I'm talking to you. I'm like, are you listening to me? And I'd be like, yeah. But I wasn't. For a while, I wasn't. I was doing it in my last relationship. I was doing it to my children. I was doing it to friends. I didn't know how to be affectionate. I didn't know how to fucking show love. Like, I didn't know how to be empathetic. Like, I didn't know. Like, I would always confuse it with sympathy. And I don't sympathize, which is, some people think it's fucked up, but I can now empathize with people, but feeling sympathy or pity for someone, I don't.
Yeah, that's like, tough for me. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is, but I'm more empathetic.
I just feel like, and I didn't know that I even could be empathetic because I didn't even know what that was. Somebody actually had to tell me, because I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you have to learn to empathize with people. And I'm like, and I kept saying, like, sympathize? Like, you feel sympathy for them? They're like, no, like, relate. And I was like, oh, I do that. But they're like, no, you don't. Because, like, if you see an older woman fall, you're going to be like, oh, shit, and go, help them up or something. But I'm not going to be like, oh, damn, like, pity this lady.
Right.
But I'm like, oh, shit, like, it's different. Like, now when I finally, like, learned, like, okay, I can do that for people. But I couldn't before because I had this, like, mental block of, like, I'm a robot. Nobody cares. There's no feelings. There's no emotion. I just got to work. I got to provide. All I knew was to provide.
What do you think was, like, the biggest... Because, like, it sounds like it was almost like a before and after. Like, what do you think was that, like, turnkey moment? Or, like, like that time period? What happened that caused that switch?
This is one of those things that Joe said. Is there anything you don't want to talk about?
To your comfort level,
no,
of course.
It had to do with my last relationship.
Okay.
And my children. It came to a point where he made me realize, like I was saying, where I was being told, like, yo, are you even here?
Yeah.
And, like, I would be like, what the fuck are you talking? For a while, I'm like, what is this guy's problem? Like, because I'm like, I don't understand. Everything's fine. But it was more because nobody was seeing, like, the soft side of me. And I didn't even know I had it. Like,
you had it guarded.
Yeah. It was there was the biggest wall up for so long that now I'm like, where's this wall? Because I'm always
want it back.
I don't want to cry anymore.
I'm such a simp.
I'm like, fuck. Mama didn't raise no bitch. But for a while, like, I'm like, damn. And the reason it hit me hard is because I went to my best friends and I was like, hey, am I like this?
And they were like, bitch, yes. Are you the last one to know about it?
I was actually upset.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, why didn't you guys say anything? They're like, you've been like that your whole life. What does it matter? And I'm like, no.
It does matter.
I'm like, guys, nah, that's fucked up. Like, have I been like this with y'all? They're like, yeah. Like, when we tell you things, you just be like, oh, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, yo, no. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I want to be there for you in a way that I didn't know how. But the thing is, I grew up like that. Till this day, my family is not like that. Yep. If something's wrong, something's wrong. Figure it out. There's no like, Mom, I'm crying, blah, blah, blah. There's still, we don't have, like, is being strong was so important growing up that like the crying was a sign of weakness. The showing, you know, like you can't cry here. Like, and if you did, you got in trouble.
You're gonna get hit more.
Yo, are you Dominican?
Hit you. I sure am. Are you Dominican? Oh, of course. Everywhere.
You get hit for crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm already
Tú
crying.
quieres llorar de verdad.
Yeah.
Ven.
And I feel like, I'm like, but I'm literally really crying.
Yeah.
Like, stop. So like for me, it's like I would just hold it back. If something went wrong, I'm like, whatever, let's push through. But when my best friends, because it was about my relationship, I went like, oh, he's saying XYZ, like, I don't know what to do. And they're like, well, Joe's like, you're literally dry as fuck. And I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't a hugger.
Okay.
I would be like, oh, hey, what's up?
Ah, I see.
I wasn't a hugger. I wasn't hugging my children.
Okay.
He was like, dude, like, you got to start hugging your kids. And I'm like, why?
Like, not even considering that that's a thing.
No.
Yeah. That makes
like I'm
sense.
like, but they know I love them.
Yeah.
And that's something that I did for so long that I regret it. I can't turn back time, but it's because of how I was raised. And like so many people around me got so used to me being like that they wouldn't even question it. They were just like, oh, you dry as hell. And I'd be like, haha. And everything was, my coping thing for a while was laugh it off, joke it off. Because I am a jokester. But after a while, somebody actually said it to me in a recording I was doing a while back, and they were like, I noticed that you, when something bothers you, you joke about it. And I was like, no, I don't.
Defense mechanism.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I don't. But I got defensive at that. And I was like, no, I don't. And she's like, no, you really do. And she's like, it's okay. I'm just letting you know that now that I'm talking to you, if something starts triggering something for you, you immediately crack a joke. And I had to analyze that. And I'm like, oh, shit. I have been doing that my whole life. Like, everything's just funny. But then I'm like, okay, none of this shit is funny anymore.
None of this shit is funny.
All right, there's no jokes.
Like, right. I want to go home.
Right.
Like,
mommy, where are you?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
No, and then I went to therapy myself. And after that, like, I was like, okay, I need to work on me. I need to work on showing empathy. I need to work on hugging my children, showing them that I do love them, not just because I'm here and I'm providing food for you, but because I actually care about you and I want to make sure you're okay. And now sometimes I can be overbearing now. I feel like that door opens so much that I'm like, all right, maybe I should just calm the fuck down.
Right.
I'm like, because the thing with me is when I love very hard.
Yeah.
And when I don't like you, I don't like you. And you will know.
Yeah.
But like literally my heart, I have such a big heart, and now that I show it and I'm affectionate and I can cry my emotions, people are like, oh my God, you've changed. And I'm like, so what the fuck y'all want?
Right.
Y'all want this or not? Because I can't go back now. I tried. Like, no. I've tried. I'm like, where's this wall? I want my wall back up. But it's not okay. Like, it's not okay to be like that forever.
Yeah, I think that like you make a good point where it's like people notice that you've changed, and it's like, well, yeah, y'all didn't point it out. So like I had to figure it out.
The thing is, I tell people all the time, you're not supposed to be the same person you were yesterday.
Right.
You're not supposed to be the same person you were last year. And if you are, then you're not progressing. I'm sorry. And if you're not progressing on a personal level, you're definitely not going to progress in a business.
Or in a relationship.
Or in anything.
Yeah.
I think everything is any relationship. And that means your relationship with yourself is primarily like important. But like your significant other, your best friends, your children, your business partner, your clients, like those relationships, they're gonna all suffer if you don't work on you. And I had to figure that out the hard way.
Wow. And it's funny when you just go through that, you just realize like, whoo, thank God I'm done with that. You know what I'm saying?
Just the thing is, are we really ever done?
No, you're not.
Ooh.
You're not.
Bars.
Bars.
I don't want to drop your mic.
But yeah. but on that note, but what we like to do at the end of the show, we like to talk about things that we would like to shout out, things that we feel that the world should know about. Is there anything that you would like to share?
Oh my God.
And if you're not ready now, we could pass the mic to Des, or I can go, or Des can
You
go.
guys go.
Okay.
And I'll think while you go.
Des.
You know, I think, right? Let me get my monologue ready here. No, I think that like these kinds of spaces, these kinds of conversations are needed because, you know, similar to what you said, like our homes, these aren't things that happen in our homes. These aren't conversations that are had in our homes. And so when people can come together and foster a community that's based on nourishing like vulnerability, like that's what strengthens communities. That's what pushes us forward as a society, you know, like, so like, honestly, right now in this moment, what I'm feeling gratitude for is spaces like this and like collaborative environments that like promote positivity. We need more of that. Like, yo, this world is saturated in craziness. Yeah. And like being able to find like-minded people who are really like focused on executing a vision, like that's priceless, you know? That's my gratitude.
Deep.
I know, right? I'm like, shit, I should
have. Maybe you should have.
Your turn, Zane. Your turn.
That's the teacher in her.
Right? Oh, yeah, she had the whole...
I'll turn it off, yo.
She's like, let me get my book. Hold on. I'm like, damn.
Oh, my God. For me, I'm going to shout out... Did I say that last week? I think... Oh, Swarm, I did. I definitely did. So I'm not going to shout that out.
Swarm.
So, yeah, I definitely did that last week. So what I'm going to be shouting out this week is my boy Ankit. We had a conversation last week, and we're actually working on the script. It has to do with imposter syndrome, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting short film. So I'm glad that he's back in the saddle. He's back to kind of acting and kind of doing film work with me. So shout out to Ankit. Yeah, and when he, you know, puts his Instagram back up, then I could be able to share his link and whatnot. But he's a great actor, great friend, and that's what I'm shouting out.
So wait, are we doing a shout out or a gratitude?
I did shout out for like a person or like a movie or something like that. So you could do
out the collaborative space, you know,
right?
Whatever the spirit says, you know.
What I want to shout out or give gratitude to. There's so much that has happened. What do you think is slept on out here? It could be something simple. Slept on? Wow, there's so much that's slept on. Oh shit. It's so simple, but it's making it harder. Oh my God. Something that's so slept on.
Retreats.
Oh, yeah, the retreat. Yeah.
Them retreats.
That and yes, yes, because I went to Morocco in
January.
January.
Shameless plug.
No, I honestly, something that slept on is self-care. And like literally taking the time to embrace yourself. Give yourself the grace, taking the time out, be one with yourself. A lot of people sleep on that. I did for years. I didn't even know shit. I just started getting my nails done. I didn't even know, like, and I'm just thinking of things like now that are like little things that now I have the time for. And even if it is just watching a show,
right?
Things that people are like, watching TV is self-care. Yeah, it's time to yourself. If that's your moment for you, take that moment, put your phone away, stop talking, and just love on you for a minute, because someone's here today and may not be here tomorrow.
Right.
But you're always going to be with yourself. So I feel like if you don't take that time for you and show yourself the love that you deserve, how are you going to be able to show that to other people? And how are people going to be able to love you correctly? That's a big thing. And yeah, take your retreats.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you really for just kind of sharing and being transparent about your business, about yourself.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
My air signs.
Yes, the royal flesh is here.
We're going to levitate.
Right? We're going to ascend right after.
We need a whole flyer made.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do. The
what
Power
was it?
Rangers.
The Zodiac Rangers?
The Zodiac Rangers.
Put that on a
t-shirt. Listen, I'm out here dropping ideas. Joe's not here to stop me now. But thank you for the show. We'll be here next week. Make sure you check us out on Therapy Without a Degree on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We're going to keep on going all day. But we're on every platform, so be sure to check us out. And thank you for tuning in. Peace.
Bye, y'all.